All right, guys, welcome to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs and nerds, and for all those that have a fandom together that are not trying to slowly get out of the death race that is Christmas Eve shopping right now. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan, of course, the co-host, my man, to your left, my right, Joe. What you got this week?
Eternally screaming because we have one more sleep till Christmas. It's Joe Tonello.
Eternally, eternally screaming.
Internally.
I was like, you got to put on a suit.
I already took the suit off.
So you've already done your Santa thing. Okay, cool. I just had to ask.
I was Spidey Claus. But still, one more sleep till Christmas.
There's nothing wrong with that. I still get excited about Christmas. But yes, this is a Christmas Eve special. We are going to go ahead and actually cover some things before we get to our loved ones. And as Joe says, one good sleep before a man somehow circumvents the world in 24 hours, which makes me think that Santa Claus is a Time Lord. That being said, guys, this is a family-friendly podcast. We do try to watch our language. However, words do fly. And sometimes we do show trailers, albeit sometimes, depending on, whose trailer is what. They may be sound, they may be muted. But at the same time, some scenes may be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, with that being said, we will go ahead and address the elephant in the room. And I say elephant or rhino or octopus or sand. Anyway, Spider-Man
or Scorpion. Or man with the puffy vest and a staff.
Yeah,
or woman with a tight leather suit with dad issues. It depends on where we want to go.
Dang. That being said, we are going to give quick impressions of Spider-Man: No Way Home. Don't worry, guys. We are not going to go into full details about this. We are going to wait until 2022 because by that time, 3 weeks would have passed since the release of No Way Home, and we figured at that point that would be a perfectly good okay to say what we liked about the movie, what we didn't like about the movie. And how the MCU is going to go forward from there. That being said, Joe, I'm going to ask, what were your impressions of No Way Home, sir?
It is the second best Spider-Man movie out of, let's go with 9, because I don't know the actual amount anymore. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's 9. You're right. It's
9. 11. 11 movies with Spider-Man in it.
Oh, with Spider-Man. Okay, sorry. I didn't count the other 2. Okay. I'm with the same. I mean, I'm a little bit different than you. I still say it is probably the best Spider-Man movie so far. Just because I don't want to sit there and say it's the best Spider-Man ever, best Spider-Man movie ever, just because I still think there's still, like, you already know, you're a big Spider-Man fan. You already know that there's plenty of other stories that they can go into with Spider-Man. And so I'm not trying to say it's topping it, but I will say that the love and care that they put into this movie, along with the twists and turns and the direction of how they let certain actors do villains, was pretty good. Yep. So if you need us to tell you which villains were in there and the actors that played them, you really have not been paying attention to the MCU, because
I don't know who plays the tree. So,
the tree has an Oscar-winning performance. The tree.
I mean, we were waiting for the bear to get the Oscar before Leonardo DiCaprio got the Oscar. So
that is
true.
But
seriously, this is the second best Spider-Man movie, only falling slightly short to Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh. See, I'm stuck there. It's a tie. I mean, I loved Into the Spider-Verse. I'm looking forward to Across the Spider-Verse, which will be coming out in 2022. But yeah, when you compare that to this, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I see them both as a celebration of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And all that's come before, but the Miles movie just edges it out just a little bit.
Okay, I can see that. I can actually agree with that. The more I think about it, yeah, the story of Miles Morales' origin story, I guess you can say, of his becoming Spider-Man in his universe versus No Way Home, I could see that. You know what? I agree with you. I do agree with you. I would say I will change my opinion and say that No Way Home would be number two, and that's behind Into the Spider-Verse, which again, not a bad spot considering Into the Spider-Verse and No Way Home had terrific story writing and things of that nature. But
We'll probably both end up with an Oscar somehow. Well, Spider-Verse did end up with an Oscar. No Way Home will
yeah,
probably wind up taking home an Oscar for something.
I can see that. I think it's going to happen. But since we're on agreement with that, and like I said, we when the new year comes around, so when it does hit 2022, me and Joe are going to go deeper into No Way Home because again, we don't like to spoil things here, and we do know that the movie at this point was only just released as of last week. So next year in 2022, the first episode of Give It Podcast in the year 2022, we are definitely going to go into full spoiler territory. So it may take up the whole podcast, but hey, it's New Year.
I'm okay with that.
Huh?
I said I'm okay with that. I'm off that week.
Yeah, I mean, we could literally talk the whole. You know what? Let's make that a point. But anyway, before I get sidetracked, because we really could talk about that for a whole podcast. But anyway, we did want to cover again. I know it's spoiler territory, but let's be honest. If you've been watching social media, you already knew that Marvel, being the machine that it is, has already rolled out the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Now, again, we are going to try to play this with sound. So we hope that Disney will be nice. We hope. We hope Disney will be nice. We're not sure. But if you haven't seen it, here's the trailer for Doctor Strange's in the Multiverse of Madness.
Don't cast that spell. It's too dangerous. Why? We tampered with the stability of space-time. The multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished. It was the only way. But I never meant for any of this to happen. Wanda.
I knew sooner or later you would show up. I made mistakes, and people were hurt.
I'm not here to talk about Westview.
Then what are you here for?
I need your help.
It's what?
What do you know about the multiverse? I'm sorry, Stephen. I hope you understand. The greatest threat to our universe is you. Things just got out of hand.
Okay, so that was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, guys. And there is no other way I could say this. I'm gonna let Joe rock with this first. Joe, you gotta unmute yourself first, man. But that was Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. That was shown somewhere aside from YouTube because Marvel just released this 2 days ago. So of course, this is gonna follow Doctor Strange's story post No Way Home. But Joe, I gotta ask you, man, because we've been talking about this off recording. So Joe, go ahead and get it out the system because I know what I'm gonna ask you, and I already know I'm gonna respond to it. Who do we think is Doctor Strange speaking to in as far as that goes?
So there are three prevailing theories. One is absolute ludicrousy because it's not Mephisto.
Yeah.
Two, it's possibly Strange Supreme from What If. Or three, as we saw in the trailer, Stephen Strange was going to marry his girlfriend,
Right.
meaning that multiverse collapse, and this is an evil Doctor Strange bent to do bad things because his whole life went to crap because his wife was killed.
Okay.
Or it's Nightmare.
See, that's what my theory was. Because I mean, I got the whole thing. Like, two things for me: that if it is Strange Supreme from What If, are we about to say that all the stories in What If right now are not canon? Like, somewhere along the lines, they are gonna somewhere along the lines they are gonna cross in with the main MCU storyline. If it is, then if you're bringing in Strange Supreme, a lot of people are going to be looking for Captain Carter.
So here's the thing, though. We basing off this trailer and just from the way he looks, we are assuming he's evil. We don't know that he's evil. He could just look like that because he is Strange Supreme.
Yeah.
We know Strange Supreme, based on the show, is a bit more pale and gaunt and has some issues because he is housing so many magical demons and entities and ethereal beings that he could just look a little maniacal, but could still be benevolent. But this also could just be Nightmare masquerading as an evil Strange.
But that's what makes me think it's Nightmare, though, because what Nightmare does, I mean, technically they're talking about the multiverse of madness, which again means that they would be intersecting with the Nightmare realm, which again, Nightmare does get his power from feeding off tortured souls. And nothing would make Doctor Strange more appealing, I guess is the best way I could put it. It sounds so terrible when I say it. It makes him sound so more appealing because what if you get to relive the life, you're reliving the life you could have had over and over and over again, only to have it ripped away from you. And that's just emotional buffet to Nightmare, which makes me really wonder if he's taking on the form of Strange, because he does have that ability. And like we said, we know it's not Mephisto for obvious reasons. I don't think Disney's going to pull the trigger on bringing a figure that looks like a caricature of a demon or Satan. So I doubt they're going to do that. But Nightmare is a little bit more malleable. You can change him around to where he's not as off-putting, I guess is about the best ways I can say that. But that's what makes me think it's Nightmare. I mean, if it is Strange Supreme, cool. I would be happy with that, because that means that you have to acknowledge that what we saw in What If is actually a dead-on line to Strange. Now, I could be wrong. It could, we've been saying, I can't tell you how many times I've said Nightmare and Mephisto when it came to Wanda, which we did see her. As we know, she's going to be a multiverse of madness. So it's going to be interesting come next year to see what they're going to do, because I think Marvel's only putting out 5 movies next year.
Well, we know Wanda's just there to get her kids.
True. And the fact that she's now read the Darkhold.
The biggest thing that we know that this could potentially be Strange Supreme is actually the fact that we also have America Chavez in this movie.
True. Which again, it's like I'm wondering. Like I said, it's a lot to process right now, guys, because we are still coming off the high of No Way Home. So to look forward to the next overall pretty much twisted story of Doctor Strange, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, Joe's selling on Strange Supreme. I'm selling on Nightmare. I would be happy with either outcome, because to me, that's just, and the fact of Baron Mordo, Chiwetel Ejiofor is Baron Mordo's character is such, it to me made me feel better. Don't get me wrong. To see, we always wonder what's going to happen to Baron Mordo because of the first Doctor Strange, which of course you realize he's now hunting those the mystic arts, and it's interesting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm wondering why he's even here. I'm also wondering, does that mean since the end of Doctor Strange 1, he has done nothing these past however many years it's been, because that's kind of always timey-wimey, flippy-floppy in their timeline of just killing sorcerers? Did he get blipped and then has to go back to hunting?
That's my thing. That's my guess.
Why is he in this movie when we're dealing with other things?
See, that's my guess. My guess is, just like Strange, Mordo got blipped. So when he comes back, it's like he's trying to pick up, like Strange, trying to pick up where he left off. But it's going to be interesting the way I see it. But again, we'll find out come next year. Which again, at this point, we only after today, it's only going to be 6 more days of 2021. So we're going to be looking forward to what happens in 2022 with this movie. But
We also, the other thing we also confirm off this movie is Wong actually has to get involved because that man is literally just the y'all be safe now kind of guy. It's like, oh, I'm Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, you guys got this. I'm out.
oh, that was so funny. If this ain't got nothing to do with me was a person.
Like, this is an Avengers level threat. Y'all be safe now. So the other thing that this movie does, and I don't think a lot of people realize, is this potentially soft confirms Namor in the MCU.
Yes.
Because via Lego, now a lot of us are FGC people. We see a giant squid attacking Doctor Strange. All of us immediately go Shumagorath. Lego, unfortunately, has told us no, that is not the case. This is a Golden Age Marvel villain who is a deep sea villain of Namor named Gargantos, who just happens to look exactly like, well, not look like, because Shumagorath is an interdimensional being and also pocket universe unto himself. So a physical manifestation, or one of the physical manifestations of Shumagorath.
But I would not be surprised if Marvel throws out red herrings. But kids, let that be a lesson to you. If you want to know who's in certain movies, follow the toys.
Is your squid gold? He's Gargantos. Is your one-eyed squid green? That's a Shumagorath.
And that's how you know who's going to be in movies, kids. Follow the toys, because that's how they make their
money. Yeah, no, Lego leaks everything super early. It's how we knew that Grey Hulk was going to be in Age of Ultron.
That's true. That's exactly true. But I just thought about that. There's gonna be a whole bunch of kids now looking at Legos. Like, actually, I can't say anything. I saw a few Legos in the stores I would love to have. But anyway, that's sidetracking myself. Moving right along, guys. That wasn't the only Marvel news that we did have. We did also wanted to cover Hawkeye, as the season finale was this Wednesday. And here's actually a little bit of the trailer for it. Because say what, Joe?
Just Kingpin.
I mean, you ain't wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. It was just, and as we're playing this, but this was actually the season peak for this previous Wednesday. Again, was Hawkeye finale, in which we saw Kate Bishop and we saw Clint Barton, and the most, I'm not gonna say non-Die Hard, because it did feel like Die Hard ending. But Joe, what did you think about how it ended, and your thoughts on where it's going forward with that?
I thought it ended fine. I know a lot of people are very decisive about this, but, to me, it didn't bother me one bit. You were right on the money with her potentially being Mockingbird, so congrats on that one.
Hey, yeah, broke backs right twice a day sometimes.
I mean, I'm only correct as often as a sundial on a cloudy day, so.
Dang.
It was fine. We get some weird continuations. Apparently, Swordsman is still out and about and is still a goofy good guy who may get a costume from the LARPers.
I can't say anything. Swordsmaster kind of grew on me a little bit. He kind of grew on me a little bit.
It's really weird that Kingpin's outfit is from a Spider-Man storyline called Family Business, which Vincent D'Onofrio himself said that's been my laptop wallpaper since the Netflix days.
Yeah.
So he finally gets it, but that also means that there's a slight wink and nod of, haha, we got Kingpin in the MCU, and Sony couldn't get him, I guess. And he's tied to Spider-Man because of that.
Yeah. But as you said, the whole episode could have been just Kingpin. We would have been happy.
Oh yeah, I mean that man just keeps taking punishment, keep getting up, and anybody who has not read the book, that man is not dead. He may just have some eye problems later, but
you ain't wrong.
You honestly think getting shot and not seeing the shot after a man is hit by a car, stuck dead in the chest with an arrow, blown up by explosive arrows, possibly electrocuted.
Right. And you think a shot from Echo is gonna put him down? I did love that. That was such Killing Joke-esque. where just the whole paying off moment. It's like it's like you see him just I'm sure we're family, right? And of course the gunshot,
But
but
they
I
legit
mean,
do that in the actual book, and it just turns out that the shot blinds them.
yeah. Which again, I think it's gonna happen. I think because now that we know that Daredevil is gonna be in the MCU, and we know that they're still going to keep Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, and of course Charlotte Cox as Daredevil. So we know that he's probably gonna have. I would say, if anything, I don't think they'll blind him. I think they'll scar him. I think it'll be like a scar kind of situation.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, I mean, I had to give it to him. It was this had such diehard feelings behind it to where it was like you see Clint finally accepting the fact that he needs a team to kind of work with him, and the LARPers, which again, the whole LARPer group was just like, we need to get in the costume and then go get it.
By the way, those people are going to be arrested at the end of that Christmas event because they're like, oh, you threw your in costume and you're in the middle of a panicked area. Yeah, you're gonna have to answer questions. Also, one of the costumes was Bombshell.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it
so
was.
it wasn't just me who caught that. It wasn't the
Mhm.
cooler version from the Miles book
It was a
in the
variation of it.
Ultimate Universe, but still Bombshell.
Mm-hmm. I was digging it. I like the fact that them bringing him in, and Kate and her mom kind of having that moment. And Kate was realizing that your mom was just as corrupt, and then Swordmaster, see, he killed me.
Swordmaster's just like naively innocent in all of this. Like
He's
it was just the strangest thing.
he's like he kept on saying, Alice, we need to talk. Not now. He's like, but I understand you're mad. It's like if that is not the most forgiving person. It's like I know why you're mad, but we still need to talk. And then how be accused of killing somebody with a sword? And what do you do at a party? Walk around with a sword around your waist. Why? You've already been accused. Might as well run with it. But
Oh no, that's just a giant flex of I got off.
yeah. But I love that, and the whole thing. Like I said, the whole thing. I'm surprised how they somehow made it to where Barton and Kingpin never met. If you really think about it, they never really did see each other. So it's almost so. I thought that was kind of cool that they got to a point to where they never saw each other. But at the same time, they made a point that Kate and Kingpin kind of had their little fight, even though it wasn't really a fight. It was just Kingpin throwing Kate around like a rag doll. But
I
still,
took it that way as Wilson was personally avoiding Clint because Clint has enough tie to the authorities being an ex-Avengers that he can literally say Wilson Fisk is Kingpin and the entire government would come down on him. But
That's
if
true.
Kate Bishop sees him, goes like, this guy's Kingpin, it's like, no, that's Wilson Fisk.
That's a fair point. I just not thought about that, but overall though, I think it's a nice little wrap up for Hawkeye. I think that his story. I won't say his story ends because let's be honest, as Kate Bishop is starting as Kate Bishop is starting her run in the MCU, we see Clint going to be really taking more of a mentor role for those that haven't read the comic. He does take a little bit more of a mentor role with her. At the same time, and Kate has her own roles, especially in Avengers and stuff, way down the road. But still, I think it's still going to be great. Lucky the pizza dog somehow made it. He somehow survived, so that's great. But overall, overall, Joe, it's like, did you for a 6-episode series? Was it a good wrap up, or do you feel like that should be a continuation if Disney decides to pick it up?
I want to know if they couldn't use Lady Hawk due to rights issues.
I would say rights issues.
Because she was like,
I'd say rights issues.
Lady Arrow. It's like, why are you not using
certain other. I think it's too close. It's too close. Like Lady Hawk, I was like, ooh, that's a little close.
Or what's the other one? Kitty Hawk. Since she's a Kate, she can go by Kitty.
You're kind of. Disney
owns
both.
They're planning on using another Kitty with the name of Pride.
It is kind of close, but Disney owns both names, so I guess that wouldn't be a conflict of interest. Yeah, but either way, it was good. It was a good series for Hawkeye, and of course, for all those that are wondering, yes, Disney is going back to Star Wars. The Book of Boba Fett will be starting the week of
next week.
Oh yeah, next week. As I said, the week of New Year's, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so next week. The Book of B. That's a lot to say in one time. The Book of Boba Fett. Try to say that 5 times fast. We'll be starting next week. Of course, I'm looking forward to it. Joe's looking forward to it. And of course, we're going to cover it as it goes live there. Just some other quick things before we call it a day, guys, because we know you guys, just like us, we want to, enjoy the holidays with our loved ones and get looking forward to seeing Time Lord Santa show up. But beyond that, some quick movie impressions. I did initially want to talk about very quickly The Matrix Resurrections. Joe has seen it. I have seen it. So while I'm playing the trailer,
No. We're going to be honest. Joe has seen half of it and then read a synopsis.
I was trying to be nice. But okay. For the half that you've seen, Joe, what did you think of it?
They leaned way too hard into nostalgia and padding, even though I understand that the nostalgia meta commentary was the point of the movie. They still leaned too heavily into it.
Okay.
And that it was kind of like Coming to America 2, where they have to pad out the movie with parts of the Matrix to go, do you remember this? You liked this part. You really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I mean, when they're literally in places and parts of the movie are being played to show him, it's like, you did this. This was your life. It wasn't a video game that you pretended to make. And then the moment the villain he's like, okay, well, I know why this is focusing so much on Trinity. Okay, I know what the ending is. So I Googled on Wikipedia, saw what the synopsis was. Like, I was 99% accurate.
Okay, because I took it differently because in my mind, I kind of went from the Matrix Reloaded when he got to talk to the architect, and I had to go back and go rewatch Reloaded because there was a certain line the architect said that explained why resurrection happened and why it's happening in the direction it need to happen in.
Also, this man. Why is this man called Morpheus? He is nothing like Lawrence Fishburne. It does not act like the character. Does not have the same gravitas as the character or importance to the plot as the character. I literally called him Momo the whole movie because he's a VI modal of Morpheus, so Momo. Or Neo. Either way.
Well, if you think about it, that's kind of the beauty of the Matrix. It does change. The people that we think are going to stay the same really don't. I mean, there is variations of it all. And I can actually appreciate that.
An hour-long rave sequence in the middle of a movie.
Say that one more time.
So, look, the only thing I respect is they didn't put another hour-long rave sequence into the movie.
Well, I mean, like I said in my Facebook post, I said it is different. They did take a lot of changes, a lot of risk, considering that this was Lana Wachowski and not the Wachowski brothers that written this. But I like the fact, and again, I don't want to give too much away for all those that still want to watch it, because there is a twist in it, and it does which again I will talk about next year in the full spoilers. But needless to say, I'll put it this way: it's one of those movies where, as really put, as Joe has said, it's like Coming to America 2. They did kind of have to go back to the previous one to explain it. It's like going back in time to go around the way for a joke. So Matrix kind of did that with references, but again, to me, it's what made it worth watching because there was so much story within the story or hidden with it that just made me think like, okay, it's not bad, but I still think, this was from a directorial standpoint, it was a risk. But again, I liked it. Joe liked half of what he saw.
Let me put it to you this way. This is like the Simpsons meme of Krusty the Clown betting against the Harlem Globetrotters.
Dang.
This is like, you watch this. Even though Matrix 2, Matrix 3, and Jupiter Ascending, I thought the Wachowskis were due.
Dang. Not Jupiter Ascending. Dang. I mean, you ain't wrong, but Jupiter.
At this point, there have been how many Wachowski movies? 6, 7?
You're that's fair. That's fair.
Out of those, only 2 have been decent. And that's Speed Racer and Matrix 1. And to a lesser extent, the Animatrix, but I think they only produced and had nothing really to do
Well,
with some of the direction.
well, I like Matrix and Matrix Reloaded. It was Matrix Revolution where I kind of felt like they let the story get away from them. I think they were trying to I think they were trying to reach in some areas, but that's just my opinion. But again, for all those that are wondering, if you have seen Matrix Resurrections or if you are intending to see it, let us know in the comments field what you thought, as well as also letting us know in your comments field about Doctor Strange, and also letting us know about what you feel about Hawkeye, and just really going from there. Because like I said, we're trying to, like I said, these movies are still fairly new. We're not going heavy into detail with them. So again, in the New Year's, we are going to plan. I think it's going to be our first episode for New Year's. It's a full-on No Way Home spoiler podcast.
So so between skip it and watch it on Matrix 4, stream it. This movie deserves to be streamed.
Dang. Well, I
Pay
can't
for
say
$14.99 so you can get bored with it. Flip to something else and then come back later when you're bored.
Well, the funny part is I did stream it as well on HBO Max. So
yeah, that's what I did.
I can't really say go watch it in movie theaters. I did the exact same thing you did, but
tonight after dinner I'm going to watch Encanto. So
Oh, I still got to catch up on. I told myself I'm going to try to watch Stone Ocean, JoJo Stone Ocean on Netflix.
Oh, my favorite of the JoJos.
I said I was going to try it because that's an acquired taste. But real quickly, guys,
the problem with that one is everyone sees it as that show before Steel Ball Run, which is very unfair.
Okay, well, that would work for me because I have yet to see any of JoJo Bizarre's Adventure aside from the first 5 episodes, so I'll be like a blank page for me. Cool.
Okay, it's Orange is the New Black meets JoJo.
As long as there's a Crazy Eyes somewhere. That being said, as long as there's a Crazy Eyes. But real quick, guys, I did want to go over this too because I know Joe hasn't seen it, but I have. I actually went to go watch this in the movie theaters. I did want to talk about The Kingsman. Now, just so you know, this was the prologue to Kingsman and, of course, Kingsman: The Golden Circle. The trailer's playing for it now. Really quick, guys, honestly, it was still a great movie by Matthew Vaughn. I like the prologue because, again, if you haven't known the synopsis of this, this is actually how the story of how the Kingsman, the independent spy agency, came to be. And, of course, the story itself, it's 2 hours and 30 minutes, which, again, is kind of normal for Kingsman movies. It was really more Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy as far as really them going into spycraft versus the action of the previous movies. There is a little bit of a trade-off there, but it does actually pick up a little bit later on in the movie. Again, with the cast there, it is a little bit smaller, but they still made it work. Now, of course, you do get to see a lot of familiar faces in this from other movies, not the ones from the original Kingsman movies, but overall, it is still a worth watching movie if you get a chance, or if you just want to wait for it to become streaming, or if you just, want to kill time tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some movie theaters open on Christmas Day if you really want to watch it. But overall, I thought it was a great movie just to add to the Kingsman universe. And yes, if you're wondering, there will be a Kingsman 3 because Edgar Tarrington, after Sing 2, wants to finish his story as Eggsy in the Kingsman universe. So there will be a Kingsman 3. But overall, guys, the Kingsman was definitely interesting, especially the actor who played Rasputin. I cannot tell you guys how many times I have sat there and told myself to play a guy like Rasputin and bring him to life. And the scenes that he's in the movie are actually very well done. So overall, guys, I will to this. I would say if you want to watch the movie theaters, definitely do so. If you have nothing to do, like I said, as Joe said, we still have one more Sleeps Before Christmas.
I just looked at who is playing Rasputin. He's the lizard, right?
Say again?
He's the lizard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as long as we're clear.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I loved him in this movie. But again, like I said before, if you get a chance to watch, you certainly should. You will not be disappointed if you're a fan of the Kingsman movies and dark humor and English humor. Because trust me, English humor.
Oh, my favorite kind of humor.
Yeah, it's the Benny Hill kind of humor. So just to let you know, for a lot of people, if you know who Benny Hill is, it's that type of humor. So You've been warned. For all those that have never seen any of his shows. I loved his shows personally for various reasons. But anyway, with that being said, Joe, any news that you want to share or let people know what's going on, man?
No, I mean, we're just going for Christmas. It's been fun. It's been fun.
It's been fun. Why do you make it sound like it was the end? Like it's the last show. Like, it's been fun, guys. And click, lights out.
No, I mean, we just got a lot going on. Was there any news that I put in the group chat? Because we had like a super long conversation, so everything got dumped out. Oh, yes. Brian Michael Bendis will be leaving the Justice League title, meaning I can start getting Justice League books again. Because he is going to go and work with HBO Max to go make a Legion of Superheroes show.
Well, I didn't feel like that was a story, but okay.
No, that was a story because he wrote Legion of Superheroes and then it got canceled.
So you call him an out.
And when he put Naomi in Justice League's sales have tanked.
I was gonna say he's an albatross. It's like the way
he was brought in to boost the sales of Superman after the Robert Venditti run. Tanked Superman.
Dang. So he is an albatross.
Started up Young Justice again. Doing great. Put Naomi on the book. Canceled 2 issues later.
Dang, he is an albatross. Well, good to know that. But aside from that, guys,
the Dragon Ball Super new Dragon Ball Super trailer got put out.
Yep, well, they're finally gonna give. They said they're gonna give Gohan their due, but I'm like, he was supposed to have the power.
I will say this: if they give Gohan his due, that means he can only go as far as Super Saiyan 2. Because the moment he goes Mystic, and the Black Bang goes down.
Yeah,
that's a red flag that he's going to lose because it's like Vegeta holding his arm. It doesn't go well. Also, in the world of Super Sentai and Japanese superheroes, Dawn Brothers is going to be the new Sentai for next year. It has a Legend of Peach Boy theme. It is also the first Super Sentai since Denziman and Sun Vulcan.
Okay.
Let me look at this, see when Sun Vulcan was real quick. Since 1980 and 1981, this is the first Sentai series to have direct continuation with the previous season.
Interesting. Don't also forget your Christmas carols, by the way.
Oh yes, we also have the X-Men Christmas carols. My favorite is We Three Jeans.
That's still funny. But still, I just can't get past the Christmas carols. But anyway, but yes, this is but we are gonna definitely be back again next Friday. It's gonna be the end of the year one. That's actually gonna be on New Year's Eve. Yes, we are aware it's gonna be New Year's Eve, but hey, a lot of you guys are gonna be up anyway, so we're definitely gonna do it. Joe's gonna come back with his top 10. He might actually come. I'm actually ask him to actually not only go beyond his top 10. But actually, you know what, Joe? I actually have a challenge for you. Because besides your top 10 comics of the week, sir, I would like your top 5 comics of the year.
We'll have to go back and track a lot of that.
I want your opinion. I have mine. I have mine, but I want to know yours. And I think that's a wonderful little thing for you because you have to figure out 5. And I know from the podcast we've done over this entire year, you've maybe said 7 you would put down as comic book of the year. So you're gonna have a nice little judgment time on that one. Yeah.
Oh no, this will be very easy. Does it have Ben Reilly in it? Goes in the list.
Ooh, I have a rule. No, I'm not gonna do that to you. It's free reign. I'm not gonna do that to you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So yes, Joe's gonna definitely come with the comic book overload. next Friday. Of course, like I said, we are going to basically come back New Year's Eve with that. We will not go into No Way Home spoilers up until the first of the year again. Like I said, we are going to give everybody the opportunity to go see No Way Home and enjoy it without spoilers. So if you have seen it, just tell people that either you liked it or you didn't. But don't go any more detail than that, because there's still people out there, especially those working in retail and things of that nature, that may not have yet to go see it. So hopefully you will be able to go see it and enjoy yourselves on this wonderful holiday season. Aside from that, shout out to Rick's Comic Book City. We always want to give them support. Say what?
Nope, go ahead, talking to someone else.
Oh, I was going to say, I'll shout out to Rick Comic Book City because they always show us support. We want to support them as well. If you are in the Tennessee, Kentucky area, they have 3 locations: Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Donaldson. And like I said before, if you have the ability to go there and support the local comic book stores, you definitely should. And if you can't do that, then definitely go to a public library. Public libraries keep up on all latest issues of comics, mangas, and things of that nature. So you can definitely go out at the cost of a library card for $1 and still be able to read to your heart's content. That being said, guys, before we get out of here, I do want to, of course, do some shameless plugging. Joe, anything you want to plug about? Because I know you're still doing. Are you doing any streaming between? I know you're not doing any streaming on Christmas. Are you doing anything post Christmas on streaming?
We're just gonna try and get back on track.
Okay, which you definitely can find him on Twitch at Joe Italian last name. Which again, I'm kind of jealous of that because that is an awesome Twitch handle. And of course, you can usually find Joe on his IG handle at help me out here, Joe, because I'm kind of brain dead right now.
On what?
Your IG handle, sir. Because I was gonna say
National Scarlet Spider, National Green Lantern.
That's what I forgot. I was on Scarlet Spider and Green Lantern, but I completely forgot. I kind of spaced out for a second. My bad. Yes, and also, like I said, Joe Italian last name is the Twitch handle, to where you can definitely see all his streams, because usually he does stream Gundam. He streams, I almost want to say Mom Shield Mom and Pals. You got me saying it now, but various games he does play there, and you can definitely talk with him and chat with him. Also, shout out to our other friend Shadow at Shadowverse Entertainment. You can also find him on YouTube as well. And of course, let me also give other buddies of mine definitely praise and appreciation for all that they do. I want to shout out to Ari and Geek Present Geek Salad for allowing us to share our podcast on their pages. Certainly appreciate that. You can definitely catch them on YouTube and Facebook at Ari and Geek Present Geek Salad, as they are podcasting folks that we've gotten to meet that actually cover everything in pop culture, everything outside the world of it. So definitely look on Facebook and YouTube for them as well. Also look out for my buddy Vaughn at Big BZ on Facebook, Big BZ on all socials, but on Facebook he's Wild Weatherspoon, in which he still has his Smoking Trailer Sundays. Of course, the best of. He's actually on vacation right now. Every Sunday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Of course, the RAF, which is like America's Funniest Home Videos, except done by World Star, every Tuesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. So definitely check him out there. Now, as far as yours truly, guys, the actual scroll you see at the bottom is basically my link. If you copy and paste that in your browser, we'll take you to my link tree for the YouTube and Facebook groups for all of my podcasts. How the Frack We Got Here, Get Bit, and of course, Southwinds Podcast. Everything is still rolling, guys. I actually will be kind of guest spotting after Christmas on various of the podcasts, so I'll let you know when those go live. And of course, like I said, I know we are overdue for an Southwinds Podcast. Trust me, I'm going to take care of that and remedy that within the next week. That also being said, guys, before we do call today, again, for all those who are in retail, who are in the hospitals, who are healthcare medical professionals, who are working in grocery stores, shipping and logistics like UPS, FedEx, Amazon. First and foremost, guys, please be safe. Please, don't let this. I mean, I know it's Christmas Eve, and right now, folks are still shopping up until the last point. But hopefully, you guys will be able to get some time off, enjoy with times with your loved ones, or just enjoy time with the person you want to be with. At the same time, guys, please enjoy the holidays, no matter what you believe, no matter if you don't believe, if you're completely agnostic. Hopefully, take the time out to recharge your batteries from life and enjoy a day of peace and goodwill toward men. So, happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus for the rest of us. For all those that get stuff, for all those who watch Seinfeld, know where that came from. And of course, above all else, just be peaceful and goodwill toward men. And I almost started referencing Batman Returns for some odd reason, which again is a Christmas movie. Also Die Hard, just in case you want options. But That being said, Joe, any last words you got, sir, before we call it a day?
One more sleep till Christmas.
I thought he was. I was waiting. I thought he was going to say something else.
Oh, shots fired. Reported shots fired at Nakatomi Plaza.
Number 2 things I thought you were going to say. I didn't think about that one. But with that being said, guys, that's been Joe. I've been Will. Please, oh please, guys, just for the next 24 hours, let's just be kind enough. Let's be kind of one of them. Be kind, be nice, and just really just enjoy the day, regardless of what you feel about Christmas. Just if you believe in a man that's a time lord that can come and drop off presents in one day, then hey. Nothing wrong with that. Some people believe that the New York Mets will still win the World Series. That being said, guys, that's gonna do it for this podcast. I've been Joe. I've been Will. If you're watching this on the replays, please comment if it's live. We still want to know what you guys thought about everything that we discussed, and we look forward to our New Year's Eve big shindig, in which I will basically be looking forward to what Joe's gonna come up with for his top 5 comics of the year. Take care of yourselves, guys, and each other. We'll all get through this. Peace.
Later.